You know, you gotta love to see it when the little guy decides to stand up against the big guy and stops taking shit. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And here we've got an article for you. All right, Kyle Rittenhouse looking at suing Whoopi Goldberg along with politicians, news organizations, and other celebs for calling him a murderer and a white supremacist. So this is one of the things. Kyle was very reluctant after his trial to talk about it and all this kind of stuff, basically just saying that it was in the hands of lawyers. So obviously things have probably advanced a little farther than that now, which is why Kyle's coming out and actually talking about all of this stuff and being open to the public about it. I mean, he's going on Tucker Carlson and talking about this. So let's get into this. All right, from the Blaze. Looks like this was probably mostly from an interview with Tucker, which is always a good thing. Kyle Rittenhouse said he's looking at filing lawsuits against Whoopi Goldberg and the Young Turks' Cenk Uygur, along with politicians, news organizations, athletes, and other celebrities for the lies they said about him after he fatally shot two men and seriously wounded a third, all in self-defense during the 2020 Kenosha riots, which I love the fact that Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks is going to be involved in this as well, because that is glorious. That fat, nasty, ignorant, ugly asshole that spews all his hate and garbage bullshit that's paid for by terrorist money. Yeah, I said it. Call me out on it, Bubba, because the groups that fund you also fund a lot of bad guys around the world. I can't wait to see Cenk Uygur in court and in a disposition over this. Guarantee all of these people will do everything they can to settle for an undisclosed amount. Remember CNN and the kids from the school and the little supposed Indian veteran guy? Yeah, it's going to be that all over again. What are the details? Rittenhouse made his declaration during Tucker Carlson's Fox News program Monday night. Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project as a tool to help fundraise and hold the media accountable for the lies they said and deal with them in court, he told the host. Carlson noted that Rittenhouse plans echo legal action taken against news organizations that defamed Nick Sandmann, there you go, the Covington Catholic student who stood face-to-face with a Native American man on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial in 2019. Rittenhouse confirmed to Carlson that he would be suing such news outlets. Nice! And I think that's something else too. I think the Nick Sandmann thing really gave some precedent for these guys to be able to start suing people for defaming them the way they have, in obvious public and obvious lies that they could have easily fact-checked and actually found out the truth about. So, the host added that the media members have become more than merely observers and are now players and participants in the news, adding that in Rittenhouse's case, the media's role wasn't coverage, it was advocacy. And he's completely right. All you had to do was watch all the lies compared to the actual footage of what happened on the ground. You have a lot of potential targets to sue yourself, he told Rittenhouse. Will you be suing any of these news organizations? And if so, when? Rittenhouse replied, right now we're looking at quite a few. Politicians, celebrities, athletes. Whoopi Goldberg's on the list. She called me a murderer after I was acquitted by a jury of my peers. She went on still to say that. Indeed, following Rittenhouse's verdict of not guilty at his murder trial in November, Goldberg said on The View that the two people were murdered. To me, it's murder. I'm sorry. So yeah, she called him a murderer. Whoop. And there's others, Rittenhouse continued to Carlson. Don't forget about Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. He called me a murderer before the verdict and continues to call me a murderer. Fox News said neither ABC News, presumably in regard to Goldberg, nor the Young Turks immediately responded to his request for comment. They're not going to. Of course they're not going to. They don't want to come within 1,000 miles of this damn thing. Carlson also asked, what about the people who called you groundlessly a white supremacist? The host added that it makes pretty hard to get a job for the rest of your life if you're a white supremacist. Will you be responding to them? Absolutely, Rittenhouse answered. Sorry. Not surprisingly, many on the left latched onto the white supremacy as a motivating factor for Rittenhouse, except for the fact that other white men attacked him and were shot by him. Yeah, no black people were killed by Kyle Rittenhouse. It was only white dudes, and not exactly good people if you look up their records. Still, James Madison University, on its official Instagram account in November, shared a video featuring students accusing Rittenhouse of murdering two beautiful black lives. That's how ignorant these people are on all this stuff. They literally have no freaking clue what the hell they are talking about. They literally get just enough information from the media to form their own conclusions inside of their head, which the media intentionally feeds them just enough information to think something that's not actually true. It's called media framing manipulation, and it's called leaving out very specific information. Because like a lot of the headlines were, Kyle Rittenhouse shoots two at Black Lives Matter rally. Okay, so if you don't read the rest of that or don't find anything out about that, you'd probably assume, because it says Kyle Rittenhouse murdered Black Lives Matter protesters. Okay, they don't put it in there in the fact that it was a bunch of white guys, that it was 3 white guys that he shot in defense. No, they only leave that in there so that way it makes you think that it was probably a black person doing it, even though that's not the case at all. The Media Accountability Project website uses a quote from militant civil rights leader Malcolm X. The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power. BET also attributes the quote to Malcolm X and notes an additional sentence as part of it, because they control the minds of the masses. Rittenhouse in December hinted at lawsuits against media organizations and other similar languages, saying that accountability was coming to them. Now, see, let's go back to this. Because they control the minds of the masses. That's why independent journalists are so important. That's why channels like mine, channels like Timcast on a much larger scale, channels like the Blaze Media Network, the Daily Wire, any of these other independent journalists that are out there giving you information. That's why those people are so important, because it destroys the media's hold on the masses and what they believe and what they see. That's why it's so important for you to share these videos with your friends, post them on your Facebook page, post them on your Instagram, post them on your Twitter, your Minds, your Getter accounts, your new the Truth Social app that just came out, all of that kind of stuff. Post these videos everywhere, because the only way we're going to be able to destroy the power that the legacy media has over the people is that if they start finding their news information from independent sources that might not necessarily be unbiased, but at least we're honest about our biases and we're not trying to blow smoke up your butt. So let's continue, see if there's any more to this. Nope, that's it. And so that's just that's honestly, I think, the point I really wanted to come out to this. I love the fact that Kyle is suing the living crap out of these people. I think it's a great thing. I think more of these outlets need to be sued for garbage stories that they keep on doing on stuff like this. I think it's just absolutely atrocious what they do. They literally just slander people all day and night without any evidence to back it up whatsoever. And then they'll retract it. Oops, we got something wrong. Or they'll make this little itty bitty little editorial note at the top of something and then never announce it. It never ends up on the front page that they screwed up and they had to make a correction. No, the only thing that ever ends up on the front page is the headline, making people like Kyle Rittenhouse look like to be a murderer or a white supremacist or anything else like that, trying to insinuate the fact that he killed black people, which isn't the case at all. And all the facts show that. The hours of video footage that we have show all of this from all the different angles, from all the different independent journalists that were on the ground recording all this. That's the only reason this kid got proven innocent in court, was because of all the video footage and because of all the independent journalists that were on the ground reporting on all of this kind of stuff, which is why channels like mine and all the rest of these are so important. You have to spread these out to your friends. You have to let them know that there are other sources of information besides legacy media, because without destroying the grip the legacy media has on the minds of the masses, we will never be free and we will never be able to rule ourselves again. It will only be the elites keeping their boots on our necks for the rest of eternity. So please, like, share, comment down below, and if you're not already, subscribed and share it with your friends and encourage your friends to subscribe to the channel. The more people we have watching this, the more I can keep doing this and the more independent journalism that will be out there in the world. But hey guys, that's just my common sense take. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks.